Hey guys, welcome back to another action figure review. Today we're looking back at some more Fortnite figures from the Hasbro Victory Royale series. We're checking out the Deluxe Mancake set in Hasbro's limited plastic box with just a small window to show off the figure. On the back we have a 3D render of the figure itself along with all of the accessories displayed here and that cannon prop accessory. Similar to the other box sets, you can get the entire cardboard sleeve out by removing it from the bottom. Each accessory is wrapped in its own wax paper at the bottom, with the character heavily tied down to the box. After removing the plastic ties and tape, you can start to take the box apart to remove the figure and cannon. Mancake is a man made out of pancakes, who is a gunslinger and owns his own pancake-themed restaurant, the Butter Barn. He was introduced in Chapter 2, Season 5. Mancake was one of the many bounty hunters from the alternate dimensions hired to stop any of the characters from escaping the Fortnite island. The player was able to unlock Mancake as a playable character with his default appearance without the cowboy hat. After the Fortnite island had been transformed, Mancake would then find himself wandering, ready to rebuild his restaurant, the Butter Barn. But thanks to the unstable nature of the island, the barn would keep changing into alternate reality versions of itself. Eventually in the story, he would team up with other food mascots to defend the island, and afterwards split up to wander the island solo once again. Let's check out some of the details. The first thing we notice is that large mustache attached to the stack of pancakes as the head of the figure. We have big white eyes, bushy eyebrows, and drips of clear syrup dripping down the sides and face. On top of the stack of pancakes, we have a leather cowboy hat, detailed with stitches in a cross, and more drips of syrup. Underneath the stack of pancakes, we have a large red and green scarf wrapped around the neck. On the side, we have a bit more of a look at the details of the syrup, the ridges on the pancakes, and the brim of the hat folding up, as well as a closer look at the detailed texture of that scarf. More of that caramel colored syrup can be seen pooling on the top of the hat, spilling over to the sides. We have a better look at the stitching of the hat, and more details of that scarf. Wrapped in a cross on top of the chest is the ammo belt, with sticks of butter instead of bullets. Underneath we have a bright green leather poncho, detailed with a rough texture with small tears and rips in the sculpt. On the back we continue with the same design, almost identical, with more of that butter ammo belt and tattered leather poncho. The shoulders are mostly covered by the green poncho, with underneath we have a bright yellow tan shirt with a few pads of brown leather at the elbow. Over at the arms, we have a few wrinkles sculpted into the clothing, with brown leather gloves detailed with more small wrinkles and stitches. Down to the waist, we have the poncho ending at a point here, while underneath we have a few belt straps wrapping around the body, and the red and green scarf we saw wrapped around the neck. Underneath we have tan colored pants, sculpted with a threaded texture effect. Attached to those brown belts wrapping around the waist, we have a leather gun holster, with a few panels and stitches for the details. The revolver accessory comes pre-installed into the figure. Just like the chest on the figure, the back of the waist is almost an exact copy of the front, with the similar poncho, scarf, and leather strap details seen here as well. A closer look at the thighs show the leather chaps on top of the pants, detailed with the cracked leather texture effect, while the inner thighs have that thick threaded texture. The rest of the leather chaps reach all the way down to the legs, and that similar cracked leather texture effect, buckled at the sides and splitting at the ankles. The boots of the figure have more of that rough leather texture effect, with more sections of leather layered on the boot and small golden spurs at the back. Let's check out the articulation. Even if the head is a large shape, it still has great rotation and rotates left and right, with the scarf itself being able to be moved around. The shoulders are heavily restricted by the poncho here. While the sculpt does have slits in the shoulder to help out the rotation, the plastic is soft, but not soft enough to move out of the way. This restricts a lot of the arm opening and rotation as well. We do have rotation at the bicep, double jointed elbows that have a decent amount of range and tightness, hands that rotate and bend up and down. We do have rotation and a forward and backwards motion at the chest that's completely restricted by all the gear covering up the body. Almost every bit of range here will be blocked except for some minor rotation. At the waist we do have a ball joint here, but just like the chest it is heavily restricted by all the gear, only allowing rotation with the slightest bit of forward and backwards crunching. The legs are able to be fully opened, with the holster being able to bend out of the way easily, as well as the scarf, although the sculpting at the backside will block backwards range. We have rotation at the thighs, double jointed knees that bend back, ankles that rotate and bend up and down, and the foot that twists. While the Fortnite Hasbro line is in the 6-inch scale, Mancake is on the taller side of the figures, able to be comparable in height to Ripley, another Fortnite figure on the larger side. Next to a more standard sized figure from the Fortnite series, we can see how Mancake has about half a head's worth of height over a more commonly sized figure. Next to other 6-inch Hasbro figures from different series, we can see a more standard size and height in this scale, with Mancake being slightly taller than the rest. Next to Jada Toys' Ryu, another 6-inch scale figure, we can get a good idea on how Mancake will size up just being on the taller side. McFarlane's 7-inch scale doesn't seem to be too out of place for Mancake, with only about half a head's worth of height difference between different McFarlane sculpted series. Starting off with the accessories, we have the default style head for Mancake without its hat on. We have a small butter detail at the top of the head and the large peg at the bottom. Installing the alternate head is extremely simple, with the original being able to be lifted off easily and the new one sliding right on. We have the breakfast bounty back bling, a giant money sack with the large hole revealing pancakes with syrup. It has a large peg at the back to attach onto the body. The hole in the back is used to attach the backpack. It will make the figure a bit top heavy, so you need to account for that. We have Mancake's signature pickaxe, Josie, a wooden silver rifle with a stack of pancakes on it and a bayonet. We get a tan colored Fortnite rifle, the Scar, a small bottle of syrup with the pancake logo on it, and already holstered and equipped onto the figure are a pair of revolvers that can be removed by removing the peg from the holster. The guns are a gray with the waffle style hand grip. Included with the figure are a set of parts to build a cannon. The wheels can be installed into the pegs, then secured into place with the head. Once installed, they actually spin and work as wheels. We can do the same to the other side to complete the cannon diorama piece. The cannon itself has a barrel that moves up and down, a small rotating screw at the back, and wheels that actually work. An excellent figure by Hasbro that really shows off some of the great design the Fortnite characters have and Hasbro's ability to make them into action figures. The clear plastic effect that they use for the syrup really looks great on this figure, and is something not really seen used as an effect on action figures ever. As for the character itself, Mancake, a cowboy made out of pancakes, is a pretty silly concept, one that hasn't been really explored since the old 90s retro food fighter characters, so it's a style of figures that we don't really see anymore. And since the only real parts that make this figure silly is the head and ammo belt, both are easily removable, so you'll have a great base for a custom cowboy action figure as well. As a deluxe figure, Mancake does come with an impressive amount of accessories, including pistols that are already equipped and alternate heads that give you an option to display him without his hat. We also come with the reason why this figure is at the deluxe price, the cannon. The Hasbro Fortnite series has a few figures that come with its own large unique accessory. What bothers me about it personally is that thanks to these larger accessories, the price of the figures are almost doubled what a regular figure would cost. So the trade-off for the increased price is the cannon. I would personally just rather have the figure as its own option. It's a nice looking diorama piece, but it's just not at the cost of another figure. If the rumors are true, Hasbro is shutting down the Fortnite line, as we haven't seen any new releases in a few months. So, while it seems that we won't be getting any new characters, the good news is you can pick up figures like Mancake that used to retail for $38 for extremely cheap on sale now. I picked this guy up for around $12, an absolute steal for a figure of this quality. The Hasbro Fortnite line has brought in a lot of fun and unique characters from Fortnite into a great action figure collection. It's a shame that they seem to be shutting down, but at least the deals are good. Still, I'm more than happy to collect these Fortnite figures, as they really do just have a lot of unique designs and bring a lot of color into my action figure collection. On sale, these are some of the greatest action figures I've gotten out of Hasbro. You can pretty much look anywhere and find a deal on these figures, so if you see Mancake on sale for a decent price, pick him up. A pancake cowboy is definitely a figure you won't be ever seeing again. Alright guys, that's it for this review. Leave a comment letting me know how you like this figure, subscribe, or share this video with your friends to help out the channel.